home. We are WNST, AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore. We're having a heck of a week around here. It has been a cup of soup or bowl, all of it brought to you by our friends at the Maryland Lottery. We had a great week last week because I bonked on Tuesday and it snowed on Wednesday and we had to cancel Lib's Grill in Bel Air. We are going to be doing a couple more shows. We're going to be doing up at Fadley's in Lexington Market next Tuesday. That'll be on the 19th. Also a big day for the Maryland Lottery. I'll let John Martin tell you about that in a minute. Also, we're going to get back up to Lib's Grill in a couple of weeks as well, up in Bel Air with Nick. Also, Harford County Executive Bob Casserly, whole bunch of electeds and folks like that we had up in Harford County. So my apologies. But when I get there, we will have Magic 8 Balls, scratch-offs to give away. We had a lot of winners last week. Coco's. I had several winners at Cooper's North up in Timonium. Great conversations all week long, including, and I remember when our lottery relationship really began about 5 years ago with John Martin. I said, we're going to have winners on. We're going to tell stories. I'm going to hold tickets up. We're going to give away all the stuff we've done. Crab cake tour. Didn't know about the oyster tour. I have a crab soup tour coming. But then you give me these winners. Doug Lloyd and, Seth, who's never really a winner because he's a Pittsburgh fan. They put together these folks who win sometimes to come on the show, and sometimes it's folks who win tickets for life or win a Ravens promotion, and we bring them on, and they have a great story to tell. We had the lady who won the Home Run Riches a couple years ago, Barbara Jean. She was awesome, big Oriole fan of my cousin, which I appreciated. But John Martin, this TJ Humphries character that you sent out last week to me, tickets for life. He's won several times. He mentors young people in addiction. His story was magnificent. And when I met him last year online, I said, you mentored people in addiction up and out. You got to come back down to do the show. I met him and his wife at Coco's last week. I know you haven't watched it yet. You need to go watch. I just platformed it. How are you? John Martin, Executive Director of all things Maryland Lottery Gaming. I know you love the winner stories as the dude who runs it and have to worry about all the math and winners and legal and all that stuff. But then there's the humans that come in and wear a purple boa and win stuff. And I think that's part of the joy of you coming on the program from time to time is to talk about people. And then I get to meet them and I'm like, these are like real people doing really great things in the community and they have great stories to tell.
Isn't that something? I mean, that's really the beauty of it, and that's why we well, first of all, we exist to raise revenue for the state of Maryland, but secondarily, to be able to tell these stories, and I hope they're not too good because I'd be out of a gig here. I mean, are they going to bump me out of the spot? Is my show gone?
Well, I would think at the end of every year, you could come up with the top 5 or 10 fun winner stories because you put a lot of them on and some people dream up a number. I mean, it's like the old commercials. I dreamed up a number. I play my birthday. I play my Zodiac. Whatever the thing is, but there is that moment where you win something big. And I see people with a scratch off when they've won $100 in my presence or 50, something more, when they win 2 or 5, they come up and bump me, give me, laugh. We have a good time. But when somebody wins something big, especially when they're just in Coco's having a bowl of soup and they're not expecting it, or when they scratch off a lottery ticket, as TJ Humphries did, didn't even win, non-winning ticket, second chance, gets picked, gets into the competition, wins 10 grand, wins the tickets for life. That's the fun we talk about here with the app and with second chances. And you've got me shouting out in Coco's. That's a non-winning ticket. There are no losers. And I know we always try to tell folks
Nice,
about that.
nice. The system works. Hey, just to bring that Raven story to a somewhat of a pause or a close. Next week, on February 19th, we will be welcoming the 6 semifinalists. People like TJ, who
This
last
year's
year.
TJ, right? This
This
year's
year's
winner.
TJ,
Okay,
right,
fair
right.
enough.
These are people that throughout the season entered their non-winning tickets in MD or in their My Lottery Rewards account. You can check all this out at mdlottery.com. And they will be our guests at M&T Bank Stadium. And one of those lucky 6 will have a chance to be the 2025 TJ and win 20 years of Ravens tickets. So stand
What do
by
I
for that
call it?
update.
It's not tickets for life. What is the promotion? Because I always get the words wrong.
Right.
Don't listen. Don't tell the executive director that. But I used to call it
Yeah.
tickets for life. But it's
Yeah.
tickets for 20 years is really what it
You
is,
know
right?
what? And I think we may have even called it tickets for life at the beginning, but then our legal folks, God bless them, each and every one of them. They keep me sitting in this seat. They said, yeah, you really can't do that. It's 20 years. There's a
Okay.
finite number. Okay, fine.
All right.
20
Well, I'm
years.
gonna have to change the headline at a Baltimore
Yep.
Positive, but it feels like life. But it doesn't when you're TJ's daughter and you're just a little girl and Dad's got the tickets, and it doesn't feel like life for her because she's like 8 years old. But
Yep.
John Martin is here. He's the executive director of all things Maryland Lottery Gaming. So we have the finalists. Run folks through what that is because you only do it once a year, and by next year it'll be over with. We'll have a winner next week as well. Six finalists. They've all won a bunch of money, just like TJ. They come down to the stadium. Hopefully, you serve them some wings and some beverages, and
Don't,
everybody's
don't,
excited.
don't
And
get
but
out
they've
ahead of
all
yourself
already
there.
won, right?
Don't start making promises we can't keep. But
Okay, fair enough.
yes, they to be selected as a semifinalist, they have won $10,000 cash, so they could probably go get their own wings and
Fair
bring
enough.
it. Yeah.
Stop at Faintly's on the way down.
Yep. Yep. And but so they will show up, and it's kind of exciting. It's almost like Oscars night, right? I mean, they're all sitting there, wringing their hands and looking at each other, and making casual conversation. But I'm sure there's a little bit of nerves, a little bit of excitement because they don't know. And then, weather permitting, we've done it this way in the past. Hopefully, it'll be able to do it again this time. Um, we'll put their name up on the screen. Ta-da! There it is on the big jumbotron or whatever we call it.
Well, I hope the
Um,
confetti flies, and I hope it doesn't
yeah,
snow. I mean, I hope it's
yeah,
nice, at least for
yeah.
these folks. But it's a culmination of. And one last thing, and we'll get the football and the wagering on Super Bowl as well. It's your biggest promotion. I have a ticket here, so it's the last remaining ticket, the last one on my desk. This is your biggest promotion of the year. You mean all of you always say that to me. It's nice we do Monopoly and there's big
Sure.
game and there's a lot of things, but this is the big one for you,
It
right?
is, of course. And just to put it in context, yesterday I started looking at the artwork for next year's ticket.
Is it
So
purple?
I
Hope
I
so.
cannot refute uh, or or concur with that, but yeah, I have it on good authority. There's probably a little bit of purple somewhere on it.
I hope it looks as good as this. This was always the best
Well,
logo. The front facing kiss bird, that was always the one for me.
yeah, yeah.
You have anything on Super Bowl that we're trying to wrap through sports here, and at some point I'm gonna start getting after you on the home run riches and like these pitchers
Yeah, right. We're
are.
just about there.
Yeah, but football's not, it's over. But there is some bean counting to be done at your level on really the biggest. And we talked about this last week. You proved me wrong once again when I said, "Is it still like that far ahead of everything else?" Apparently, it is.
Yeah, it is. And we'll have that final accounting next month. So right now we just wrapped up our January, which was pre-Super Bowl, our January sports wagering numbers, and I have them right in front of me here. The month of January, we had $8.2 million in contributions to the state. To put that in context, that was the fourth best single month of sports wagering since we launched in December of 2021. So number four on the hit parade at $8.2 million. And it goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway, because again, think back January, we had playoffs in the NFL. Early in the month of January, we had college football playoffs. We certainly had both Commanders and Ravens for the vast majority of the month of January,
I was going to
viable
say the Ravens
contenders.
played early in the month, not too far late in the month,
You
but
know,
the Maryland Commanders did really well.
I see what you did there. Yeah, they
I'm
did
going to
very well.
continue to do that as long as Jane Daniels is wearing a
Uh,
jersey.
yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
even know they were there for 30 years.
And the thing that's just testimony to that, and things that I look at a little bit beneath the numbers, beneath the surface, the hold, which is the amount of money that the sports books keep after the wagers are made and prizes are distributed, the hold was a fairly healthy 13.4% on the mobile platform, which tells me that the house won a fair amount of the time. And that can certainly happen right until the end, because when the Ravens and Commanders were playing their last game, they didn't know it at the time, but when they were playing the last game, I'm sure there's a lot of action on them. And so when they lost, that money goes to the house. So that's the
So
way
what you're
that
saying
works.
is the Pennsylvania State Commission might be a little different after the Eagles win, right?
Yeah,
Like
they're
it
they're
just in a
they're
general sense, right?
they're probably taking a hit. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
everybody bet on them. So, I mean,
yeah,
just for
yeah.
our audience that doesn't understand gambling or whatever, everybody in Maryland's betting on the home team. When the home team loses, the house eventually wins unless the home team wins
Well,
in
and I
this
can give you this
particular
little
case.
tease again. We'll get the final numbers then by the 10th of March for February, and that's where the Super Bowl numbers will be embedded in that. But just the early returns from people who know this kind of stuff is that Philadelphia and the over were very popular picks. and clearly Philadelphia won, and the over was pretty well crushed as well. So yeah, that means you're not going to see 13% hold coming out of the Super Bowl. Probably closer to that mid 4, 5, 6% range.
Wow, that's a big
Yeah.
switch there.
Oh yeah, absolutely
Over
is.
holds of tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. John Martin is here teaching me esoteric math. He is the executive director of all things Maryland Lottery and Gaming. As much as we did football, and I'm doing the Magic 8 Ball promotions, which has really been fun because I swirl around on the Magic 8 Ball, can say all sorts of funny things. This is the sort of numero, like what I am with my cat, number two. The Monopoly is number one right now because this is the scratch off that's out there. We've talked a little bit about this. I am not gaming with these. These are not only non-winning tickets, these are sample tickets, and they're very colorful. And when I was in Costas last week, all the young ladies that are there and play and serve, and we talk about the lottery, and they know I have lottery tickets. They all love the colors of the Monopoly tickets. So you did good with its design on this one, John.
I had nothing to do with that, which
Take the
both
credit, give the
both our
blame.
product people and our players should appreciate. I have nothing to do with that. But yeah, they do rather look rather nice. And again, mdlottery.com will explain the Monopoly second chance contest that's
They're
going on right
scented.
now.
They smell like winning. Is that good?
Nice. That's
Like
good. That's very
snowflakes.
good. Very
Wrong
good.
day to be
Uh,
talking about smelling like a snowflake, though. By
yeah,
snowed too much
right,
this week.
right. So the thing that's unique about this second chance contest with Monopoly scratch off tickets is that we have a rolling cash jackpot. So you can enter your non-winning scratch offs into your My Lottery Rewards account, and we will have five winners of $5,000 each in six separate drawings. The first one just happened. And we will then pick it three times during this six drawing period for a rolling cash jackpot. Right now, it's over $70,000. And the first of our three rolling cash jackpots will be next month in March. So check out online, mdlottery.com, and be prepared to get in if you choose on the second chance Monopoly contest.
All right, so this is the $100 ticket, which we
Oh,
have the
hang
fifth.
on. It's not
No, it's not
$100. Don't.
$100. It's a tops 100. It's a $20 ticket. Sorry,
All right.
this is a 20. I'm getting it wrong. $20 ticket, the 100. So I see the little man on here, and I had the. He looks a little bit like Super Mario, but I know he's 100 years older than that, and I wondered if he had a name. Because I mentioned the community chest last week and how I always bought the orange things. I AI is great. I Googled this. You ready? His name is Rich Uncle Pennybags. He's also known as Milburn Pennybags. He's also known as the Monopoly guy, which is what I've called him, and Mr. Monopoly, but he really does have a name. So there, have that. I
I
know
did
more
not
about
know that.
Monopoly than I knew about Game of Thrones, and we're
I did
already into
well.
2025. You
Yeah,
having a good
clearly
time with that?
you kind of embarrassed both of us on Game of Thrones, but
So this
yes,
is the $1 ticket that says
yeah,
times
yeah.
five. This is I'm just trying to get right because I was all screwed up. This is the $2 ticket, which if Roz is nice to me and I run out of these Magic 8 Balls, and I am Roz, I might be get the two. It'll say times 10. So these are fun. These are fun.
They are fun, and please play responsibly when you do choose to play. I've always called him Mr. Monopoly, so I did not know about all those other aliases.
Rich Uncle Pennybags. I don't know. Was it developed by British people? It certainly sounds that way. John
It's
Martin is here. He's not British, but he is, foreign to some of us in baseball season when the Guardians get on the field and the Orioles get on the field and pitchers and catchers. I haven't had a chance to talk baseball with you at all, not even off season, signings, this, that. There's going to be a home run riches thing, maybe, or am I wrong?
There is again. I cannot confirm or deny it right now, but
Okay.
my sources, my people tell me, and I do have people, Nestor. You know that.
I
My
know that.
people tell me that there will be a yet another um, promotion coming up that's themed, tied into the baseball season here in Baltimore. So, don't know that I'll be ready to announce it next week, but very soon. You know, pitchers and catchers reporting that whole thing is starting up.
I was worried about you. They moved the fences back in. That costs you money when that happens. There are more home runs when this happens. You do know this, right? I'm going to bring this up.
Yes, of course, that can happen.
And
You do
pitching also makes more home runs happen too.
well. That
I'm gonna
that can
bring that up too, just
yes,
in a general sense.
yes.
All right, so we got more winners. It's really sort of dead of winter. You have this huge thing going on with the Ravens next week. You have jackpots, Mega Millions, Powerball. There's some changes coming structurally in those games coming in the spring as well. I just want to open up. What else do we have going on here this week? Because It's kind of the slowest week of the year, which is why I love doing Cup of Super Bowl, which is why we did it for the Maryland Food Bank, because it's snow on the ground, cold out, all of that stuff. But you're really ramping up for a pretty big year here.
It is that brief period when we can catch our breath, and like I said, not for long, because while we have the culmination of last year's Ravens contest, we are just ready to take the wraps off and gearing up for the next season. Homer and Riches will be coming down the pike. We have the Monopoly program, which is obviously very very strong, and people are enjoying that with its second chance drawings, as we've already talked about. Yes, we will have in April an updated and new and improved Mega Millions, and we'll have many more details as we get closer to that April launch date, which will be the first week of April. Do not lose your tickets now. They are still valid. We are still working our way through what we call a step down process, Nestor. So it's time for a little education, time to get back in the classroom. So when you buy
Let me
a
get my
Mega
pen. Hold
Millions,
on. Let me get my,
there,
I'm taking notes. Here we go.
may need a
Let's go.
clean sheet of paper for this one. Some people choose to buy their Mega Millions tickets and their Powerball tickets, but we're talking on Mega Millions over a period of time. They don't want to go to the store every other day to get a ticket. They want to buy them in advance, as we call it. So you can buy up to 15 Mega Million drawings. Um, you can also buy subscription packages, which is a whole other thing we're not going to talk about today. But when you go in a store, you say, I want the next 15 draws of Mega Millions. Well, at some point, and that point will be this weekend, you can't buy 15 anymore because you're going to overlap with the new game. So we have to start to shorten it down. So you can't buy as many.
When is the day? April 1?
April 4th will be the
April
last
4th will be the
uh,
last. Okay.
of the current Mega Millions game. So that means after this Friday's draw, after Valentine's Day, February 14th, just gave everyone that little heads up. It is coming up this week, folks. After that drawing on Friday, we'll then have 14 draws. You can't buy 15 draws anymore. You buy 14. And then after the next draw on the following Tuesday, 13. So every time we have a draw, the amount that you can get in the future makes sense, right?
And then the
It kind
game's going to start from fresh because it's going to have a
yep,
different jackpot. It's going to really
different.
just have a different prize pool. Am I saying that word the right way?
Yeah, you're close. I mean, yeah, it's a whole different mechanic. I may even get a new suit for the whole thing. I mean,
Okay.
everything's new. Everything's new. Um, but the game will play the same. But new starting jackpot, new price point, new ways to win, improved winnings for all players. So yeah, a lot going on there, and we'll devote a show to it. Maybe we can bring some special guests in.
Well,
I
I,
don't
I
know.
would think the one thing I would say about it, just as a citizen asking, like, why? Because my wife asked me, right, about it. And I just would say, you don't think the $20 million starting points that, everybody got together and thought, let's make the game more appealing. I mean, literally, right?
As much as we sell both Powerball and Mega Millions, there are some people who view them as competitive as opposed to complementary products. So they both have the same price point. They both have similar styles, and so for many people out in the marketplace, they don't even make a distinction. They just look for the one that's got the larger jackpot at that point in time, and they buy that ticket. So
That
we're
is my
looking at
wife, by the way. Yes.
well, that's fun, and we appreciate that
And
as
she
long as
always
you share.
corrects me when I'm wrong. I'm like, Mega Millions. She's like, no, it's Powerball. She does give me the brand thing.
Very
She
nice.
knows.
Good,
Yes.
good, good. But we're looking for ways to differentiate the two so that there's some people will know, oh no, that's Mega Millions. Oh, that's Powerball. And one way to do that is to change it up just a little bit, not so you alienate a player, but so you offer them something different. Powerball will not change. So if someone says, you know what, I don't want to make that change, then they'll still have a game that is drawn 3 times a week with Powerball and will continue to work as it does today. So stay tuned for a lot more details on the evolving, upgraded Mega Millions.
You're always doing stuff. Last year, I'm learning Cash Pop, and I'm still trying to figure out the racetracks when I'm over at Costas. He is John Martin. He is the executive director of all things Maryland Lottery and Gaming. I am running a little short because I gave a lot of these out because I was doing Radio E every day. We were out for a cup of Super Bowl. We're going to be at Fadley's next Tuesday on the 19th. We're also going to make good on our date from Lib's Grill that we had to postpone on the 12th from the snow. But I'll be have these. And if I get really lucky, maybe I'll get a little Monopoly, and I can talk about, let me get the the name right again here because I don't want to call him Mr. Monopoly. Rich Uncle Pennybags. I have to work on that. That's kind of fun. We will get together again next week with John Martin. And by the way, if you did not hear a cup of Super Bowl and hear just a really cool conversation with TJ Humphreys, who runs a group called Voices of Hope up in Aberdeen for addiction recovery. He was recovering. He told his whole story. It was unbelievable. Listen to the story. Check it out at Baltimore Positive. It has a lottery beginning and a Coco's crab cake ending. And I'm not sure it's all done because he's still doing good work out there. And I'm getting to meet some really cool citizens who win lottery jackpots and then come on and sort of give back and do other things. So there's all that. John, you and I will give back again next week, and we'll have a winner next week, right? For the overall
We
tickets for
will.
20 years. I want to make sure I get that right next week. So I hope everybody has a good time down at the stadium, and we get the jackpot right for this ticket that I gave away all fall. One day I'll give a ticket away to a grand prize winner, John Martin.
That would be nice. And I've got to go out and shovel some snow now, but hopefully things will be very, very nice and sunny next week for our Ravens
Oh,
final
you
draw.
hardy Midwesterners are getting ready for spring training action. Luke and I are getting ready for spring training as well. A lot of Cup of Super Bowl around here, a lot of stories of inspiration, perspiration, never desperation, although overcoming that in many cases. All of it brought to you by our friends at the Maryland Lottery, as well as Jiffy Lube, Liberty Pure Solutions, all of our sponsors making this thing happen. We call them wise conversations around here. You can find them all out at BaltimorePositive.com. Stay with us.